as far as Final Fantasy 16 this week, we got some updates from like the leads in development, and we got some pretty interesting stuff here, Perry. I don't know if you heard this, but one, it was confirmed that Final Fantasy 16 will not be an open world game. Which Final Fantasies are never truly open world. Like I know 15 was, but that's not something that Final Fantasies usually do.
Right.
Yeah. And even, yeah, like you said, per se, like even with Final Fantasy 15, while it was open world, that's up for discussion still. So I don't know why people are shocked, upset, angry, or anything like that, if they are. But the most interesting tidbit of this is while it is not confirmed as a ESRB rated game just yet, they have openly admitted that they want to delve into unfamiliar territory, unfamiliar themes, and they did not want to be limited in any of the things that they wanted to cover within the narrative of Final Fantasy 16. Therefore, it was approved by Square Enix and by the leads of development that they are shooting for a rated M Final Fantasy, which is going to be the first in the series. But also drives to be very interesting. And for what they said is they said, that this is not by means a cheek and tongue ploy to show you any type of unnecessary, unwarranted nudity or fan service. This isn't for the sake of having blood and gore, but they wanted their story to be rooted in their universe without having any strings attached to tell the story that they wanted to tell the way they wanted to tell it. So how does that make you feel, Perry? Like knowing that Final Fantasy is trying to step into, I guess, like I don't want to say dark and gritty because I know that has like a negative connotation to it today. It's kind of a meme, but for lack of better phrases, Final Fantasy 16 is going dark and gritty from what it seems. How does that make you feel?
I mean, I'm happy because though the tone has been light in a lot of them, 15 was definitely, because I'm not of I'm not of the Final Fantasy deep lore of history. So 15 was like good, and I enjoyed it because of the fantasy aspects, but the undertone of what it was, of the sacrifice that Noctis had to do towards the end. You feel what I'm saying? So it was already hinted at, but I'm ready. 16 looks phenomenal. And the fact that it's dark and it's going to be gritty, it's going to show that there's going to be hard decisions to be made. There's going to be hard routes to go. There's going to be a difficulty, a storyline that's going to be, to me, that can be very either thought-provoking or make you uncomfortable, which is good because Final Fantasy, in lack of a better terms, has a pretty good pedigree of games, in which is all right. And I mean, hell, look at Final Fantasy VII Remake. Look at Final Fantasy VII Reunion. And they're rewriting the entire storyline of that, and it's not something that's pretty.
Yeah. We can only hope that it's not, that it is pretty though, because damn it, everyone wants Aerith to survive. So we'll see.
And if you take Tifa away from me, there will be hell to be paid. Do you understand me?
Yeah, I don't think Tifa's going anywhere. If anything, like my thing is, I know this is a bit of a departure from 16, but if anything, I think with Final Fantasy VII Remake, like since people had the game in their hands long enough to be hit with that gut punch of Aerith dying, there have always been rumors that there was like a Super Phoenix down. There was a secret cheat code, a secret ending where she survives the encounter with Sephiroth. I'm gonna assume that what they're doing with this in some way or another is taking that storyline that fans created somewhere along the line and making that the way that things go. But it would also be interesting if they played with our emotions, they kind of gave us that false hope, and then we find out that time is a straight line and there's nothing you can do to avoid that death anyway. That would be super interesting. It would be heartbreaking, and I think that would be extremely thought-provoking. So we'll see. But as far as Final Fantasy 16 goes, I'm excited to see it kind of go into the mature realm, just simply because like where this Final Fantasy is set. Like Final Fantasy 15 kind of had those bro venture vibes to it, and we're on a road trip and we're shooting the shit and we're having a good time, and I thought that was pretty dope. But when we look at Final Fantasy 16, this is something that is like, as far as like the timepiece, it's high fantasy. It's kind of given off in some ways. It's given off in some ways those Game of Thrones vibes. So not saying that they're going to be out here, you know, ripping penises off and feeding them to people and all that stuff that Game of Thrones does, but it'd be kind of interesting to see, you know, without the limitations, where this could actually go. So all in all, I think it's kind of cool that they are stepping out of their familiar and comfortable formula and trying some new stuff. We can only hope that at the end of it all, we get an excellent game from it, though.
Right. Totally agree. And I'm looking forward to it as well. To D-Rain, Last of Us 2 made people uncomfortable. You ready for that again? Absolutely. Last of Us 2 was a phenomenal game, no matter how you look at it.
Yo, so D-Rain, I don't know if that actually has been confirmed or not. If it has, great, please show me the link. But we actually have a rumor section where we'll talk about that. But if it has been confirmed, please show me where it's been confirmed, because we will switch it up and we will talk about it right freaking now. Right now. Not now, but right now.
But yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. 16 is all when I first seen Final Fantasy 16 shown at the State of Play, it was there. And I was already sold. I'm there. I'm like, I don't care what the story is. I don't know where it's going. It looks beautiful. And then you re-showed it again. And then you confirmed a pre-order.
Yeah. I need it.
Like there's nothing else that I care for. Give me what I want. So I'm really excited for what that game brings. For sure.